What's going on, guys? Mr. Black Magic here, the DRM Gamecast, and this is my review for Ninja Pizza Girl. It's an indie side-scroller, parkour kind of time trial setup game. It's made by a studio called Disparity Games, comes out July 20th on Xbox One. So the way the game is set up, there's a corporation called Pizza Megacorp, and they're trying to corner the market, and in this day and age, the only way to deliver pizza is via ninjas and running on rooftops. So the character you play as is Gemma, who works for her dad's pizza store, and you're delivering pizzas for her dad's shop. And so you're running along rooftops, running, on the sides of buildings. And it's one of those time trial kind of games where you're constantly being timed. You're trying to replay it, get better times, get a gold medal, things like that. So in that sort of game, it features a lot of the typical stuff you'd see, like jumping, high jump, wall jump, ducking and sliding under objects. You have to hold B to break your fall. If you're falling from a really high height, you have to hold B so you won't just splat on the ground and kill all your momentum. And one thing I thought that you'll notice fairly early on is the story gets a little too serious for its own good. I thought it was a little out of place. So the game is broken up into a couple of different chapters, and each chapter focuses on a different part of the story. And so like the first chapter, it deals with Gemma. Every time she delivers a pizza, the guy who answers the door doesn't have pants on. And so that keeps coming up. The story's at the end of every section you run at. So you cross the finish line, then there's a little story part. And then like the next part deals with a friend of hers and who's scared of heights. And then later on you're trying to hook two people up using pizza. And there's all these like weird kind of cheesy quotes about her shop. And I say cheesy, like they got me doing it. I just thought it was a little too much, a little too serious. Like they're just trying too hard with the story. It just really felt out of place. But the game itself is cool. It's a cool time trial, speedrun kind of game. There's actually a separate speedrun mode that has leaderboards, shows your personal best, world record, things like that. You can do one track at a time or one level at a time, or you can try and speed run the whole game all at once. Because the game itself it's only a few hours long to beat the game, maybe 6 hours or so, 4 or 5 hours, somewhere around there. But it's one of those games where you have this feeling that you want to keep doing it again. You want to get a better time. You want to try and improve your time. There's a bunch of these different collectibles that are spread out through each level. So they look like one is a like a little recycle symbol, one's a QR code, one's this other where when you pick it up it'll activate you'll get in your mode and it'll activate this dubstep music in the background, and so it's kind of like you're in your own rhythm and you're running a little faster. And when you can use those items to buy all this weird stuff in the menu. So like one of the options is called Game Craziness, and that'll have all these different game modifiers like Big Head Mode, FPS Mode, which is really weird. You can play every level in FPS, first person view, which I thought was really weird because you're looking forward but the controls don't change because it's a side scroller. You hold right on the right analog stick to run right. In first person mode it's the same way. Even though you're looking forward, you still hold right to go right, and instead of holding back or down on the left stick, you have to hold left. So that was really weird to get used to. There's also motivational mode, which is it basically turns off all the enemies. So the enemies will, when they see you, they'll try and punch you, they'll try and throw crap at you, and then if they do, they'll start laughing at you. And so it basically turns all that off. You can't get attacked by enemies, and then instead when you run by them, they'll give you some little motivational quote like, yeah, keep going, yeah, go girl, or something like that. It's really weird. It's basically just like a super easy mode where it turns off the enemies, but instead of just getting rid of them, it makes it so they don't attack and they give you words of encouragement. And then there's also things like artwork, interviews with the developer that you can listen to right in the game, little comic strips. But then there's also this kind of weird mechanic where if you go too long without buying anything, or you keep falling, or you keep getting attacked by enemies, it'll start to ruin the main character's mood. So she'll get in like a really sad, kind of depressed mood, and you'll notice it because the visual of the game, it'll start to turn to this kind of dark green, like a grayish screen. So instead of like the normal colors you're seeing all around where it's like neon lights everywhere, everything will start to turn like a dark gray, dark green. And that means she's depressed, essentially. And so to change that, you have to go into the menu and buy something. So there's like chocolate or a phone game or a bubble bath, like random things that you can buy that'll improve her mood and get rid of that weird like dark gray kind of filter that's on the screen. I thought that was really weird. Like I said, that kind of goes along with the story. It's just a little much. It's, you know, it's a side-scrolling runner. Why is my character getting depressed, and why do I have to buy her chocolate to be happy again? It just seemed really weird. But then there's also different outfits that you can buy that have the same effect. If you buy a new outfit, then she'll get happier. But you know, it's also one of those just customized things, you know, replayability. You can just buy different outfits and make your character look a little different to spice things up every now and then. And so yeah, I mean, the game, I thought it was decent for a side-scrolling runner. I thought the parkour elements made it better than just like a typical, another indie side-scroller. You know, I thought the parkour and the time, you know, speedrun elements to it, in terms of trying to better your time. And, you know, every time you beat a level, you get a rank, so it's like D, B, A, goes to A+, and then another one that's actually past A+. You know, depending on what time you get. And then there's all the little pickups. You can go back and try and 100% the game by picking up all those items, because if you pick one up, then it won't appear again, and it'll actually track how much you have. Because there's different paths that you can take, so you know, I might be able to take a higher path or a lower path, and those will have different items. So I thought the game was okay. Certain elements I didn't like about it. I'd give it around a 7 out of 10. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews, and thanks for watching. Later.